What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're gonna talk about Kyrie Irving and the Boston Celtics, a team that's on pace for a 50-win season. And I just want to talk about Kyrie obviously making a decision that we all disagreed on of leaving Cleveland, the number one team in the East for the last couple years with him on that roster. Everybody says it's going to be a guaranteed cakewalk to the finals as long as he stay in Cleveland. And he did the surprising thing, which was asking out, leaving LeBron James. So many people call LeBron James the best player in the league, and you in the weakest conference in the league, and he left to go to Boston, the rival of Cleveland. Because remember, it was Boston versus Cleveland for the number one record, and Boston won. It was Boston versus Cleveland at the end of the day in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they got destroyed. And for him to beat that Boston team with LeBron so easily, you're shocked that he will want to go to that team. But when you have a general manager like Danny Ainge that is willing to take risks, that's willing to, damage relationships just for the betterment of the organization, the betterment of winning a championship. You've seen what he did to Isaiah Thomas. You've seen how he did him. And at the end of the day, it was all a business. It was just a sacrifice he had to make, which is a relationship with Isaiah Thomas, and he had to make that sacrifice to give this team a chance to win a championship. Because remember, he landed Al Horford 2 years ago. He was able to land Gordon Hayward. He landed two All-Star players without Kyrie at that time. So when they traded majority of their role players for Kyrie, it add that third All-Star, third superstar. That superstar create shots, dominate the game player, and can get a shot at any time, even in the playoff series. But once they added Kyrie, they had high expectations. I was even a person that said, I'm a Celtics fan, but unbiasedly, I feel like the Celtics are going to win the East, which they was winning the East majority of this year, but Toronto ended up catching up to them and passing them. But Boston dealt with a lot of injuries. They lost Gordon Hayward, obviously, in the first game. But you have to give this team credit for them to lose Gordon Hayward and come back and win 16 games in a row, giving them the number one record in the NBA for a month, and then being able to stay within that top two for basically the whole year. And it looks like it's going to be a lock that they're going to finish second or first, more realistically second. That they went through losing Gordon Hayward, went through a lot of injuries. Even tonight, Al Horford is dealing with an illness. He's going to be out. And for them to continue to play hard, for them to continue to fight. Remember, this team kept giving up big leads after big leads. They had come back and just fight, and close out games and be able to win. And this is a young team. People, we have to give them credit for them to not give up, for them to fight, still be unified, still play hard defensively, still trust each other offensively through those big holes and big leads, and be able to continually come back time and time again and win. Not only that, they haven't became Kyrie centric, which means they don't rely on Kyrie to do everything. He don't score all the points. He don't get 30 all the time. He doesn't dominate the ball as much as we thought. He has become a better defender. He has become a better team player. He's trusting his teammates, even though they're developing and getting better every day. Jason Tatum went down a little bit. Jaylen Brown got off to a hot start. He has come down, but they're still winning, and they still maintain that number two seed, and they're on pace. They're 4 games away from winning 50 games this season, which we thought was going to happen anyway if Gordon Hayward was going to be healthy. But now, since he has been gone the whole season, and they have an opportunity still to finish with a 50-win season without their second, or some would say their first best player in Gordon Hayward, that's remarkable. And you have to give credit to Kyrie. He's not getting a lot of MVP conversations. People talking about Damian Lillard, which is rightfully so. People talk about obviously James Harden, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. And these players have shown that they can carry a team. These players have shown that they can lead a team. But considering that they have even Cleveland, for example, they have LeBron putting up these monster numbers, but he still has a better record than LeBron, and they're in the same conference. Not only that, he has lost Isaiah Thomas for majority of the year. He has lost Kevin Love for probably a couple more weeks, and he still has a better record as a leader of the team. Kyrie Irving has proved and fought all his demons. Kyrie, he's too young. When LeBron was out, they couldn't win. They struggling. They got blew out. They starting off an 0-2 hole. Do Kyrie regret it? Do he regret asking for the trade since they're 0-2? Then they go on that 16-game winning streak, and it's like all the demons was gone. Now when people bring up Kyrie, it's nothing negative. It's all they're good. They're too young. The biggest complaint is they're too young. But everybody was crucifying Kyrie for wanting to be traded. And when he actually went through the trade, he went to the rival, and they said Kyrie not going to lead the team to the playoffs. Nobody seen this team winning 50 games after Gordon Hayward went injured, and they was down 0-2 in the first two games. Everybody was giving it to Kyrie. They won 16 in a row. Everybody loving them. They're praising them. And the only complaint is that they're too young. So this team has really fought. This team has had a lot of adversity. Kyrie Irving has one more step to do, since they're not going to put him in that MVP conversation. Since they're not going to put him in um, he might be all NBA second team at best this year when you count Steph, Russell, James Harden. He might be on that list because one thing I wanted to mention, people said that LeBron made Kyrie better. LeBron made him more efficient. LeBron made him more consistent. If you look at the 59 games that Kyrie has played, he has shot 18 shots a game but shooting 49%. He's shooting 40% from three. He's shooting 88% from the free throw line. He's still giving you the 3 rebounds and the 5 assists, but he's giving you 24 points. His career high is 25 points a game, which he had averaged in Cleveland his last year, and he played 72 games, which is a lot that year, only, 9 down from playing 81. And he's basically averaging the same numbers he did last year, but he's doing it with more pressure. And reason why I say more pressure is because he's the guy that everybody scout for. He's the guy that everybody had to stop. He's the engine of that team. He's the best player on the team currently, and everybody wants to stop him. Everybody wants to neutralize him because if you do that, this team is more predictable and more easier to guard. But they still been winning. He's still been efficient. He's still been dominant. He still took over fourth quarters. He's still been able to lead this team to wins, and he's been able to do that this whole entire season. And they have been able to play like a unit. They have been able to play with that chemistry, which they've been learning and gaining all the time. But this team has a no quit attitude. They don't give up no matter what's the score. They play hard. They like to fight. They play with a lot of effort and energy. And Kyrie is the closer on this roster since Gordon Hayward is out. And he has basically proved all those people wrong this whole entire year. And it's ridiculous because we've seen the same thing with Kevin Durant. He even ruled all what people said on his shoes. Kyrie literally can do that now too because they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win 50 games this season. And not only that, they look like a team that can make the Eastern Conference Finals. Since they will be the 2 seed, they're going to have a decent ride going into the NBA Finals. And honestly, their bench is better. You got guys like Terry Rozier coming off that bench, Big Greg Monroe, Marcus Morris, Marcus Smart. You have some versatility. You have some different type of defensive schemes and lineups you can use. You have also different type of tactics that you can use. It'll be even better if you can have Gordon Hayward because the offense would be a lot better with him in that starting lineup, and then the bench will be even better because Tatum will go from being a starter on this team to being on the bench, which means he can get easier shots, play against weaker competition, and play within that bench role. So it'll be nice to see Gordon Hayward healthy. Maybe Kyrie don't put up these numbers. Maybe his numbers take a bigger hit, which is realistic. But at the same time, to leave LeBron James and to stay as efficient as he ever been, and to carry this team with Gordon Hayward missing the whole season, and to still make it to the playoffs and win 50 games and fight back through all those games they should have lost, and to go on a 16-game winning streak, and having a chance to make it to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. without another superstar player on your roster in the Eastern Conference, that's tough. Because, yeah, like I said, Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin are together and they struggling to win, and they're two all-star caliber players. You have a team like the Bucks with Giannis, one of the top 10 players in the league, and they're only 4 games above 500. So if it was that easy, how come no teams like the Cavaliers and teams like Giannis and teams like, Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons haven't been winning more games than the Celtics? That shows you how great of a coach Brad Stevens is, trusting his team, letting them grow, letting them make mistakes, letting them learn from it while still putting them in positions where they can succeed, put them in positions where they can be efficient, put them in positions where they're comfortable and know how they can attack and score and put them into areas of their strengths. So you have to give a lot of credit to Brad Stevens. You also got to give a lot of credit to the team for learning and getting better and having dedication to be the best team and players that they can be. But you also got to give credit to Kyrie Irving, wanting the challenge to be the best player on the team, wanting the challenge to be a point guard, a franchise point guard, and wanting the challenge to lead a team to a championship as the best player on the team. Is he gonna win a championship this year? It doesn't look like it. But if this team playing how they are and this team how they are now, adding Gordon Hayward, this team will be in championship contention next year if everybody stays. Well, not everybody stays. If they can get a healthy Gordon Hayward and keep majority of their bench on good contracts, this team can be dangerous. This team can be a championship contender. We already seen that they can compete with the Rockets. We already seen that they can that the Warriors have shown chink in their armor, and it has been able to slow. They have been showing that they can be beatable. They still have injury problems just like other teams. They see that the Golden State Warriors can bleed. They see that the Golden State Warriors are human, and I feel like the Celtics with Gordon Hayward don't fear them at all, and they feel like they can beat them in the 7 game series if everybody's healthy and the bench continue to play the way they've been playing. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, though. Do you think that this was a good move for Kyrie? Should he have stayed in Cleveland? Is it good that he left Cleveland so he can shut up all his doubters and all his demons and all the people that didn't believe that he can end up having a season this successful even without Gordon Hayward and still being on pace to win 50 games and averaging the same amount of points he did last year, as efficient as he was last year, maybe even more efficient, you can argue, and still getting the team involved and still playing a team concept and still able to win games on a consistent basis. This is impressive for Kyrie, and I'm glad that he was able to do it. I'm a Celtics fan. I'm a Kyrie fan, and it's good to see us winning on top of the East. I mean, in the top of the East, and fighting all season long, and we have a chance to embrace, being able to go to the Eastern Conference Final and have a chance to compete and contend for a championship this season. Let me know what you guys think, though. Check out my website at NosisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. Also, check out my website at NosisPlayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. I'm going, and let me know what you guys think about Kyrie Irving. Should he get more MVP votes? Do you think he's going to be all NBA first or second team or third team? And has he shut up all his doubters, or we still got to see him do it in the playoffs? It's always going to be a what if. It's always going to be something that they're going to complain and nag about, because that's what you have to do if you're an analyst. That's what you have to do if you're part of the media. You always got to have a question. You always got to have doubts. But he has shut up. Majority of 99% of them is shut up this year. And now they're just too young.